about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
It feels great. It's been crazy. It's probably the craziest moments of my life. I never thought I'd be in a situation ever, but it's been dope. I'm loving the Ravens organization. It's not easy, but it's the NFL and nothing easy.
Did you guys say it? What was that moment like?
I was actually bathing my two babies at the time, and then Mike called me. It was like 7 o'clock. He broke down to me what was going on, and then I got on the phone with my agent, and I got on the phone with these guys, and everything just got rolling.
How quick of a transition is this in terms of being ready for Sunday? Is it not that hard because you've been playing all season long? It's just a new environment?
Transition, it's been like that. Like step of a finger, next thing you know, Baltimore. Like it's been quick, but I think I'm ready for it. I've been training for this all my life to be prepared for something like this. I think I'm gonna be ready.
And hopefully that is the case. De'Dre'mont Jones, new Ravens edge rusher, meeting with reporters in the Ravens locker room yesterday. First time since being acquired on Monday night by the Baltimore Ravens. Good morning. It is the Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. Today's show is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel, the best place to watch every big game, hang out for every big fight. I know there's not going to be a certain fight coming up, which is a real shame because, boy, that was the one I really wanted to see.
Yeah, me too.
Bummer. Just a giant bummer, man.
But now
what am I going to do?
Jake Paul versus Francis Ngannou.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking that I hope that I don't have to see that. But if you do...
Here's the thing. You have free will. So
right, it's true.
You don't have to.
I don't have to. You're right. But sometimes you're just out somewhere and accidentally ends up on your screen or something along those lines.
Day, huh?
It really does. Anyway, if you are looking for somewhere to hang out to watch every UFC fight, never pay pay-per-view prices, watch them inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. We will talk more about De'Dre'mont Jones' arrival as the morning goes on. We'll make some picks for Week 10 coming up a little bit later on with Ken Zalis. All that in just a moment. Patrick Stevens is going to join us. Blue Ribbon Discourse, you know the man. He's going to be joining us every week this season. We're figuring out early on in the year, and then we'll probably settle into Tuesdays at some point as the year goes on. All of that coming up on a Thursday edition of the program. And in fact, let's waste no time. Week 1 of college basketball season underway. Had the opening night here in Baltimore with Maryland beating Coppin, Towson topping Loyola. Now a big one coming up tomorrow night in College Park as Maryland takes on Georgetown. Joining us now is the aforementioned Patrick Stevens, who's with us once again every week this season. Patrick, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Well, Glenn, how are you this morning?
I'm all right. Are you reporting to me live from Reitz Arena by chance?
I am inside Reitz Arena. Found a quiet place for the moment. We'll see if it holds up.
I appreciate it.
The kids on field trip day just started entering the arena.
So boy.
I had to scoot out. So
please, if you don't mind, write down for me the number of times you hear the words 6-7 together with that many kids in one place today, because I'm going to guess it's going to be a lot.
All right.
Patrick, I assume there's not much to be taken from much of what we've seen this week so far. Maybe we'll get to some of the national storylines. Anything on the local front that particularly jumps out to you?
There really wasn't. I mean, I think that when you kind of look at what we've seen so far, like Maryland kind of dominating the last 10, 12 minutes or so against Coppin State. I mean, I think Coppin may have hung around a little bit longer than you might have guessed. But the biggest thing, I think, for Maryland is that they got two guys back. They got Coit and Watts back, and So they look a little bit more complete than they did a week ago in the exhibition against UMBC. Coppin went up and got blasted by LaSalle last night. Morgan, I would tell you, I saw Morgan in Georgetown on opening night. I thought Morgan was a lot better than last season. You know, I know Kevin Brodus, when we talked a couple weeks ago for the local preview show, he was very optimistic, and I think he has reason to be. You know, they were much more competitive and much more interested in playing defense than they had been anytime I saw them last year. So, you know, I think that's maybe the one local takeaway that I would plug at this point.
So Maryland, yeah, to your point, I don't think we learned a ton from Coppin State. I assume that we feel like we're going to learn something. I guess you need to tell me how much we should make of Georgetown, because it really did seem eye-opening to me. They went and won an exhibition at Kentucky. I acknowledge that I don't know exactly to what level these teams are trying in these exhibitions, but I don't think Kentucky was looking to lose that game. How good is Georgetown?
So I would say, having seen them now twice, I saw their exhibition game at GW, and then the game the other night against Morgan State. I think they're probably deeper for sure than last year. I think they won 18 games last season, made it to the made-for-TV basketball crown event out in Vegas. So they were improved. I would argue at this point that it's certainly a reasonable test. I suspect that Georgetown, if you plop them in the Big Ten, would be a mid-pack Big Ten team. So as a barometer, I don't think it's a bad one at this point for Maryland. And you know, I know Buzz Williams likes to talk about how his teams get better over the course of the season and all that stuff. I mean, I tend to think that it would be pretty impressive if Maryland, at this stage in the season, with all these moving parts, was able to win this game. If you're Georgetown, and you've got a veteran point guard, Malik Mack, and you've got KJ Lewis, the Arizona transfer, and you've got some size this year, there's a lot to like about that team. So a real legitimate, like, you can make some sort of measurement test coming up for Maryland tomorrow night in College Park.
Perhaps interesting to me, and I know he didn't end up playing a ton of minutes, that Guillermo Del Pino started for Maryland. I don't know if that's just a placeholder until Miles Rice is available, but I know that he was someone they were raving about in the summer. Is it perhaps a sign that they want him to maybe be someone who plays more minutes as the season goes on?
I think at this stage, my guess would be that there's more just continuity there than anything else.
Okay.
That he's been available, but I also do think that they are excited about him, and so it's certainly possible that he's a guy that plays a fair chunk of change over the course of the season. But truthfully, I don't think we really know that much about these guys at this point. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of Payne, not Payne, P-A-I-N.
Yeah,
but
Pharrell Payne. Yeah, I get it.
But a lot of Pharrell.
Well, I don't know. It
Payne.
might end up being both. We'll see how this season
It could
goes.
be. I did not intend it that way, but I caught myself as I finished the thought. But you know, that's a guy that's going to play a lot. You know, Miles Rice, if he's healthy, is going to play a lot. But there's a lot of unknowns as to how all this works out, and I'm kind of reluctant to make too many conclusions, long-term conclusions for the course of the season, even based on a game like tomorrow. I think it's almost more you're getting a snapshot every time out, and I'm not sure exactly how that movement is going to look over the course of the next couple weeks or so. There's certainly going to be opportunities to measure growth, whether that's playing Marquette, whether it's playing Gonzaga,
Right.
whether it's starting Big Ten play, whether it's playing Virginia. So, you know, it's not like they're not going to have one of these teams that has like a 5-game stretch where they play nobody and you don't have any sort of real measurement.
All that is fair. Patrick Stevens is with us here on GCR. Patrick, obviously that's big tonight, or tomorrow night, that is. The other thing tomorrow night, of course, is the Veterans Classic, and I know we talked about Navy, as you referenced on the college basketball preview show, but and I know this isn't maybe the most exciting field that they've ever had for the Veterans Classic in Annapolis, but can you break down a little bit of what we're going to see tomorrow night there?
Well, I certainly think the Navy team is really interesting. They're taking on a Yale team that should be one of the best, if not the best team in the Ivy League. So kind of an Ivy Patriot challenge, if you will. And Navy, to its immense credit, just went down and clobbered Presbyterian in its opener. You go on the road and you're out there and you're winning by 20, 25 points. That's pretty good no matter who you're playing. So And then, the first game is Tulsa, led by former George Mason assistant Eric Conkle, who was he was an assistant on the Final Four team. The team out of the American, they typically have one of those into that event. And then they're taking on a Rhode Island team under Archie Miller that is basically kind of rebuilt itself in each of Miller's first 3 seasons now. So, I don't know really what to make of that game either, if we're being perfectly candid. But I do think Yale versus Navy is kind of a traditional, like you've got a bunch of, older guys. And I think that should be a fun game in the nightcap.
I need you guys that are listening to understand that, like, Patrick Stevens knows more about college basketball than, like, I would say 99.999% of the world. But this is the new era of college basketball where even he has to acknowledge, like, yeah, we still have an awful lot to learn early on in this season because that's how many moving parts there are when it comes to this sport. And I completely understand that thought process. On the national front, I assume the big stories this week are Arizona and Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are certainly 2 of the bigger ones. You look at Arizona being able to beat Florida out in Vegas, and by the way, the other game out there, you get the BYU Villanova game. We certainly with the Bance and whatnot for BYU getting that debut. So that's certainly an interesting thing. And Duke. Duke is not what Duke was last year. I talked to their associate head coach, Chris Carrawell, for Blue Ribbon over the summer, and one of the things he said is, look, like, you shouldn't expect this Duke team to be that Duke team. There's not a Cooper Flag as good as Cam Boozer is,
right.
And he looked pretty good in the second half. He didn't play great in the first half. But as good as Boozer is, he's not Cooper Flag, and they're not just going to be a team that rolls over people. Duke last year had the best offensive efficiency rating on KenPom in the entire history of KenPom,
wow,
which goes back like 29 years. So, there's a standard that's probably not going to be met, and it's kind of reasonable to expect them not to meet it. So, I think that's a good, solid start for the Blue Devils. We're talking about almost entirely new teams across the board here. They obviously have some pieces back, like Isaiah Evans and Caleb Foster, but they've got a lot of new guys too. So you're trying to figure out exactly what they are. It's hard to do that at this point.
Yeah, I get that. And to your point, Cam Boozer certainly looked really good in the second half. For those that don't know, that's Carlos Boozer's son, and it's a name that a lot of Maryland fans will have a lot of memories about from over the years. And then I guess we didn't bring up because we didn't really do a lot of national when we did the preview show, but I know Houston is a lot of people's preseason favorite to win the national championship. We know how close they were a year ago. And so, nice test for Towson, I guess, on the road this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Towson has already played St. John's in an exhibition, so why not go play another
right?
top 5 type of team, right? So, yeah, I mean, you know what you're going to get with a Kelvin Sampson team. And remember, a few years back, they came into the Vets Classic, and their defense was already deep into the season form at that point. And so, I would expect scoring to be very, very hard to come by for the Tigers. As good a night, maybe not a career night, but as good a night as Tyler Tejada had in the opener against Loyola. It's going to be he's going to be swarmed by a Houston team that prides itself on what it's able to do on the defensive end. This is a year that you start off with Purdue and Houston as kind of the 2 of the favorites. Those are 2 coaches that have knocked on the door a lot of late. And Sampson, remember, had a Final Four team at Oklahoma. There's a lot to like there about maybe one of those 2 teams, Purdue and Houston, one of those coaches, Sampson and Matt Painter, maybe being able to break through and win a championship this season. And certainly Towson is going to get a good look at the Cougars come Saturday afternoon.
All right, he is Patrick Stevens. He's got a game to watch, so let's play our game. We're back for another year of Can Patrick Stevens name the MLB team that this player has played for or managed. And I say that because as I was doing my math, I realized there was a 4-team manager that I somehow never included on this list. I don't know how that's possible. So how about a nice, easy one to get us into the season? Patrick Stevens, the 4 teams that Terry Francona has managed.
Phillies, Red Sox, Indians, maybe / Guardians, and Reds.
Correct. Now, I've got some leftover 4 and 5 team guys that I believe are difficult. We'll work them in, and then maybe some easier 3 team guys after that. This one, only an all-star once. Admittedly, I only had 2 of these. I think you'll do better. I'm not sure how much because there were 2 teams in the pandemic year, and my God, how would anyone know that? This is 5 teams for Justin Smoke.
Justin Smoke,
Yeah.
gosh, okay. Well, he was definitely a Mariner, right?
Yep.
And he was a Blue Jay, right?
He was a Blue Jay. Those are the 2 teams that I had. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure I'm going to do a whole lot better. We're talking 2 teams in 2020
and one
else
team
was
before, and I did remember that he was traded in the middle of his rookie season to the Mariners.
Okay, so all right. I really do not remember where else he
Yeah,
was.
I
but
understand.
Let's just do a couple dart throws for the fun of it, trying to think of where Justin Smoke might have been drafted outside of those. So he was traded to Seattle in the middle of his rookie season. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's for him. Let's go to a standby. Let's say he was with the Dodgers.
I appreciate that. It is not the Dodgers.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I
no,
figured
it was worth it. 100% it was worth it.
Didn't hurt to try.
Of course
so,
not.
Let's see. At that point in his career, I feel like he's probably more of a DH type. Whether I'm right or wrong about that, who knows? But let's toss out Oakland, maybe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and Colorado.
All right,
Let's say
so
Colorado.
it was. If I told you the trade involved Cliff Lee, would that help?
So at that
Yeah,
point, it might not have.
Yeah, it didn't
I mean,
help
was he
me.
in, was he in Cleveland
It wasn't
at that
Cleveland.
point?
It was
Okay.
Texas to start. Texas
Texas.
to start, and then
Okay.
he split the pandemic between the Brewers and the Giants. And then
No
Yeah.
recollection.
Oh,
of that.
why would anyone? And we'll wrap it up. You'll knock this out. 3 teams for a 3-time All-Star, the great John Kruk.
John Kruk would be San Diego, Philadelphia, and the Chicago White Sox at the very end.
What is the schedule look like for you in the next few days, sir?
Heading down to College Park tomorrow, and then a Sunday doubleheader with American playing Penn and Grambling taking on Howard. And then next Tuesday, I'll be back in College Park with Alcorn State in town.
I did see that the Missouri played at Howard this week. Was there something behind that?
Howard has been able to get a handful of teams to come face them.
That's really cool.
You know,
Yeah.
and so they've had Notre Dame come in. They played a home and home with Cincinnati, and then this game. And so, you know, I think a lot of that has been you've been able to tap into. Well, you can come to D.C. and you can visit. Howard calls itself the Mecca, so you visit the Mecca, and you also can go visit like the National African American History Museum and what have you with the Smithsonian, and you can have a really strong themed trip. You know, they played the Notre Dame game on MLK Day,
Right.
or maybe the year after the pandemic season, or maybe the season after, something like that. So you can do it that way. But Kenny Blakeney, a guy that played at Duke and has a lot of connections, certainly has been able to tap into those, and it's a lot easier to try to get somebody to come play a game like that when you're located in a city than
That's
when
true.
you're not.
Yeah, in the middle
so,
of nowhere, right? That's a good point.
so Howard does have that going for it for sure. But a really neat thing that they've been able to do, being able to draw in some of these.
Yeah, it's really cool. At Discourse, D1S Course on Twitter, and of course on Blue Sky, Blue Ribbon, Washington Post, all of those places. Patrick, always appreciate you, sir. Thanks for taking the time for us.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's Patrick Stevens. He'll be with us again every week throughout the season, and we'll be moving those days around. And yeah, obviously, will be very interesting tomorrow night. It sort of feels like that becomes the real start of college basketball season. Our buddy John in Little Rock was furious that we didn't spend more time talking about the Maryland Coppin State game. I was like, John, did you watch it? What do you want to talk about? And I got the sense he really just wanted to talk about the fact that nobody was there. But I told you guys that on Monday. It's a bummer the way it worked out. And let me go a step beyond the bummer part of it. It's a bummer the way that it worked out. New coach, 15 new players, nobody local. There's just no juice there. And as I said before, and this isn't, look, all I really care about is do you win, but Buzz Williams has not done a lot, or really anything at all, locally to try to ingratiate himself or ask people to come out. And, somebody would say, well, that's not his job. His job, 100%. I prefer that the priority be winning. And if he goes and wins this year, then I don't care. If he wins, may he be Mike Krzyzewski. May he never do an interview. But he's not, and there's a reason why. If Duke played a game, despite the fact that they're nowhere close to Baltimore, if Duke played a game in Baltimore on Monday, there would have been more people there than there were for the Maryland game. I'm not trying to pile on. I understand how it happened. We can have adult conversations. It's like when we breathlessly talk about Camden Yards not being filled in the playoffs in 2024, but don't talk about why. We just say it for the sake of saying it. Well, where were all the fans? Well, for the most part, it was full. It wasn't completely full. And why was that? Some of it was because this isn't a thing, the wild card series. It's just not something that we hold in high regard. And there were other places where the stadiums weren't full. And they were playing the games in the afternoons. And they were playing the games in the afternoons in miserable weather. And with a team that had been falling apart in the second half of the season. That had no actual World Series aspirations at that point. So we can walk through, and because they charge insane prices, despite the fact that no one really feels strongly about the wild card series. So when you do all of that math, you can understand it. But we just breathlessly say it, hey, nobody was there. I can understand why nobody was there on Monday night. Nobody was there on Monday night because they don't know who anybody is on the team. To be fair, we've done our best. But I know you're not going to believe this. Apparently not everyone in Baltimore listens to this show. Now, I think that's a mistake, too.
What the hell is wrong with those people?
I don't know what they're thinking. Believe it or not, that's not the case. Nobody knows who the team is. The last memories they have of Maryland basketball are like, the coach and the athletic director fighting and then both leaving. It's an awkward spot to be in. They don't know who the players are. None of them are from around here. There's nothing. The opponent was not a very good opponent, and I get that they were local, and so there was a handful of people that were there for Coppin, but it wasn't an exciting opponent. If Maryland had been playing Florida on Monday night, there would have been a lot more people at the game, despite the other factors. But all of those factors combined lead you to what you got. And then you do that. Well, whose fault is that? I don't know. I do think Maryland could have done more to promote it. What I worry about, Maryland, Buzz Williams, anybody involved in the school, using that as an excuse to not come back to Baltimore for a little while. Hey, we tried. Nobody was there. I worry about that they ignore the reasons why no one was there and blame Baltimore for that. To be clear, if that game was in College Park on Monday, how many people do you think would have been there?
I don't know.
Slightly more because the students would have been there. And not even the majority of the students. Like, there would have been some students that would have showed up. That's it. If they played this Maryland-Georgetown game in Baltimore, which would make no sense, but if they did, there'd be a lot more people there. All of these, we all have brains. We can all work through it. Even if this game was on a Saturday night, there would have been more people there, right? You add on the fact that it's a Monday night. And it's a Monday night right after daylight savings time, which is when people immediately, you lose your best chance at walk-up because it starts getting dark at 4 in the afternoon. And as every one of us that's ever attempted to throw events knows, everything changes as far as people going out. But all that being said, I can understand it. It makes sense to me. I just hope that the people involved understand that too. And I hope that no one thinks that what that means is you can never get people in Baltimore to go show up to see Maryland. If Maryland's good, If you played another game, let's just say that Maryland goes and beats Georgetown, like beats Marquette, stuns Gonzaga, beats, like, let's say, and you played another game in Baltimore in January, what do you think that crowd would look like?
Probably look a little better.
Think it might look a little better? You played like a Big Ten game there. Maybe you played like Purdue. I just don't like the brainless part of it. I don't like when we go to, that's because it's the University of D.C., nobody's going to go see them in Baltimore. Like, I don't like when we get to the mouth breathing. I'll bring it up in another context in a moment because I just was made informed of the phrase Purple Patrol this week. Rita and I, there's a new episode of Rita and Glenn now available, youtube.com/@Rita and Glenn. And I was made aware, I was not familiar with this Purple Patrol. Maybe I'd seen it and I just didn't know what it was. But it's an example of mouth breathing. It's lowest common denominator. And it's lowest common denominator to attack the attendance at a basketball game in Baltimore when everyone with a brain can calmly understand why it was that there wasn't much attendance at the basketball game in Baltimore. We are all very capable of figuring that out. So,
Did you see the Michigan State game on opening night?
I did not.
It was a packed house.
Where were they playing?
They were playing at home.
At home.
Against Colgate.
Okay.
And it looked like,
Well,
they were hosting Purdue.
Well, Michigan State is a little bit of a different place. They've been consistently very good. Not sure if you're familiar. And I don't know if have you heard of their coach?
Yes.
Yeah. A little bit of a different scenario for Michigan State than the last 20-plus years of Maryland basketball. And it's probably unfair because it's basically everything post-2008, 2009.
Massive dunk from Cohen Carr, and the place went nuts. I mean, it looks like it's March.
Yes, because Michigan State has cemented itself as a basketball school. Once upon a time, Maryland was a basketball school. Once upon a time. But
now we're a lacrosse school.
Soccer again.
Yeah,
let's be fair, right? Like a lacrosse and soccer school. Which is good. You got that going for you. And a September football school.
The September football school, a women's basketball school.
100% a women's basketball school. There's no doubt about it. They got the UMBC coming down to College Park tonight. But yeah, there's a reason why Michigan State looks like that. Maryland, as I said before, if that game was in College Park, it wouldn't look like that. Because there are lots of Maryland problems. Lots of them. Some Baltimore problems. Some. Like, again, we definitely would be more inclined to show up if there was, a Jalen Smith type of player.
If Derek Quinn was back for a second year.
Anything along those lines. Honest to God, if there was just players that we knew who they were, they'd be more inclined to show up. But particularly if there was a notable Baltimore.
Nick Blake.
Yeah. If there was a notable Nick Blake who's going to. Did he even get into minutes in a blowout? So. Didn't even get any minutes in a blowout. That's the reality.
Well, Coppin State was hanging around,
For a while they were, and then they pulled away again, and it was a blowout. But if there was a notable Baltimore prospect that was on the team, then there would be more people that would be there to see them. But that's not the case. So you got what you got. Tomorrow night, there's going to be lots of people in College Park. I assume it's sold out. I assume. There'll be lots of people there. But then there won't be, Patrick just pointed out, Alcorn State next Tuesday night. It will be a ghost town. What do you think you could get a get-in for Maryland Alcorn State? I've actually been disappointed in Maryland get-ins over the last couple of years.
Like you want them to be lower?
Oh, yeah. The idea that they still want like $25 for a get-in, and you're like, yeah, dude, nope.
I mean, it should be like $7, maybe $6, $7.
At most. There's nobody there. The place is empty. It's a Tuesday night. Why would it be? I mean, I've never looked for a Tuesday night game. Maybe for a Tuesday night game, it's like that. I've always tried to take my kids like a weekend game, and I've looked and I've been like, you really still think you're getting $25? You still think you're getting $25
from school, and then you got.
I was asked Tuesday night at 7:00, and I think the speaking engagement was at 5, and I said, yeah, maybe if I owned a rocket, like.
Let's just get a helicopter.
Yeah, maybe correct. If they are willing to chopper me from WBAL and back, then I'll be there. But short of that, unfortunately, probably not going to be an option for me to, which is a bummer because I would have loved to have done that. It was very nice for them to ask me to do such a thing, but it's just not an option. Yeah, there was an interesting piece from Ed Lee about it. Ironically, we say there's apathy coming off. They sold out their football game on Saturday, which to me is a miracle. Even you can say Indiana's good, but Indiana's not a powerhouse, like a traditional power.
Yeah. I mean, they had people traveling.
I'm not saying they didn't have people travel, but like it's not, and maybe there were more casual people around here that wanted to see Mendoza, that wanted to see Curt Cignetti, that wanted to see Indiana, but it's not like when Ohio State comes to town, and there's a lot of Ohio State fans here because there's a lot of Ohio State fans everywhere because they're a national brand. Indiana football is not a national brand that just has fans all over the place. So Maryland sold out the game. It was homecoming, and I know that did play a role in that. Nice homecoming opponent, by the way. But your homecoming
You never
week.
know.
I thought you were supposed to pick that based on a game that you could win. I thought that was the thought
You're saying
process
so
there.
they could have.
I don't know who it would have been.
I mean, it
this year.
should have been, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
the week one,
Yes.
right? 100%.
should have been FAU.
But I say all that to say, my Maryland, like I've said it a million times, they're going to let the season play out. And Jim Smith continues to say all the right things about Mike Locksley. And it is even a complicated conversation if things go south the rest of the season for Maryland. I've said that before. It's complicated because they don't want to lose the players. They have a lot of young talent. It's going to be hard enough to keep those guys around if their coach stays. If they lose the coach, there's probably no chance of keeping those guys around. And while we're still waiting to see if Zion Ely, I didn't really talk about the thing last week where Mike Locksley talked about how Zion Ely took a visit to South Carolina that he was getting paid for, and then everybody was like, well, I don't even know if you're actually allowed to talk about him. Like, did you maybe commit a recruiting violation in that? Because you're not supposed to discuss any prospects until they've signed. So we'll see. I don't know, man. One, I don't care if guys are getting paid to make visits. I really don't. If you got the money and the resources to do that and you think it can make a difference in recruiting, I know everybody's freaking out and everybody thinks that we are just, it's so different that it must be bad. But that's the way this works. Do you know how many people get paid to make appearances where they don't do any work? You familiar with what's going on with Kawhi Leonard right now? Like, have you, this is very common that people get paid to do nothing. And whether South Carolina thinks they can still land Zion Ely, who continues to say, even as he visits, that he's still a hard commit to Maryland, but we'll see. Whether it's because they think they can land him, they still think they can change his mind, or just because they think having him there will look good for other recruits, and so they think it's worth it to pay money for that, okay. I don't know why we'd be bothered by the concept
Of, like, him getting paid.
of any recruit getting paid to take a visit. I just think it's because it's different. I think it's because it's not what we're used to. But the number of people that get paid to do nothing is outrageous. How many people have consulting gigs that don't do anything? This is someone taking their time and going to visit. And if that's what it takes to get them there, then maybe South Carolina or other schools. Maybe Maryland's doing this. I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't know why we'd be bothered by it. I mean, if you don't want your school to do it, if you think that's a waste of money, then, I don't know, talk to your school. But in general, why would you care? And if the schools say we think it helps us in getting kids to play here, you're inevitably going to give money away to somebody that isn't going to come play there. And so that would just sort of be lost money, but it might be valuable to you that maybe some other kid was willing to take a visit because they saw that kid took a visit, and maybe it helped you get that kid. I don't know. I just can't imagine being worked up about it. I don't know what the rules are in recruit. I don't know if they can be recruiting violations anymore. So maybe we're just in a world where
You can say and do whatever
you can do
want.
exactly right. It doesn't matter whatsoever. All right, there you go. There's a big dump of various thoughts related
So
to
I definitely
Maryland.
didn't get Sidney Stewart in trouble then.
What did you do? Did you pay him?
No.
Oh,
When I was asking him to bring Ernest Willer over back to Maryland.
I don't know. I hope not. We'll come back in. We will discuss a little bit more Dre'Mont. We'll hear from John
Probably should
Harbaugh.
pay him, I guess.
Maybe. We'll hear from John Harbaugh about Dre'Mont Jones, his newest edge rusher, when we come back in. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners. But only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Defense, pass rush, everything overall.
Yeah, I think he can help a lot. I mean, we're really happy with it. It's something that had been in the works for a while, and he's a good fit for us. You know, the system he's been in for the last 3 years is the same system, so he picks it up quickly there, and he's a really good fit just style of play-wise. So we absolutely will get him weaved into it right away, and he'll be playing on Sunday.
That's John Harbaugh discussing his new edge rusher, Dre'Mont Jones, acquired from the Tennessee Titans for a conditional 5th-round pick this week. Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Today's show also brought to you by CountySports.zone. Into playoff season in fall sports, CountySports.zone is where you find everything you need to know about high school sports, scores, schedules. They've got the brackets. They'll be updating them as the playoffs roll along. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we learned a ton from John Harbaugh yesterday. Did reference that they think they can use DeDre'Mont Jones, sliding him inside a little bit the way that the Titans did. So it'll be interesting to see that. Be interesting to see if Carl Lawson makes his debut for the Ravens this Sunday. As we talked about, they've got a challenge because for the first time that I can ever remember, they didn't even have an injury report yesterday. Now, that's weird to me, too. Like, they didn't bother to just, like, put anybody who had been a little banged up and say full participant yesterday. Like, I've never seen this before. I've never seen a time where the Ravens sent out, like, I got the email, they sent out an injury report, and it said nothing. In fact, what was the official wording? The Ravens had no injuries to report Wednesday. Every player was a full practice participant. Well, that seems good. That seems crazy. But also, as I've pointed out, like I was on VSiN on Thursday last week, and they were asking me about bets that I'd be willing to make, and I was throwing out the idea of betting the over on Keaton Mitchell's yards, which I think were like 14.5, and it did not make it, for the record. Yeah, but I had said, but one, I still need to know that he's active, because as much as we all saw, a lot from Keaton Mitchell in the Bears game, the Ravens have a problem where they don't have any injured players. So who's going to be inactive? And now one of the guys who's regularly been inactive has been Jair Alexander. He's not on the team anymore. So I don't know how they're getting to their 7 inactives on Sunday if Carl Lawson is going to play. Although Lawson's still on the practice squad, correct? So he would just be an elevation. So he wouldn't factor into that equation. But DeDre'Mont Jones obviously is going to be active. And I does that mean that David Ajabo? Like, you would think that they don't want to just have 3 healthy edge rushers. You would think that part of the reason they acquired DeDre'Mont Jones is because they want to have another one. Now, maybe if Carl Lawson is elevated, then that opens the opportunity for Ajabo to be inactive again, because you could have 4, and that might solve it. But it is tough. It's a good problem to have. You want all your guys to be healthy. You want that. But it does become a bit more problematic in trying to figure out who's going to play and who isn't going to play.
Sanusi Kane was one of the other inactives.
Correct.
Thursday, so
and now he's not on the team anymore.
So it was guys still on the team. It was Emory Jones, Carson Vincent, Tez Walker, Aeneas Peebles.
And we haven't heard...
And then Cooper Rush was the
third quarterback, right, which will continue.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard any updates, I don't think, this week about Emory Jones.
No.
So I guess for now you can assume that he'll probably be another one of them until, like, we hear definitively. But that still means you got to swap out 2 guys because Jair Alexander and Sanusi Kane are no longer options.
Maybe 3 if Carl Lawson's playing. Yeah. Right.
Well, but Carl Lawson's he's not on the active roster, correct? He's
correct,
an elevation.
But
so they don't factor the elevations into
no.
Those are freebies. But to the point, Keandre Jackson was an elevation. Now he's on the roster. So math is weird, baby. It's weird math trying to get there. But again, good problem to have a team as healthy as possible. I mean, beyond, obviously, the guys that are on IR. All right, on Thursdays, we make our picks for the week. Joining us now, he is our... What is all of that? Oh, I see he's just got friend stuff behind him. But why do you look... You look like a ghost. Like, what is going on, Casey?
I did go see a doctor.
I mean, are you okay? Did they give you bad news?
I have a new addition.
I mean, do you?
Yeah. My brace.
Oh, what did you do?
I got old.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that. You did. I
got already. You want to know the word? It would be a really cool story, but I'll tell you the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
I went 2 weeks ago and used a leaf blower for about a half hour.
That was it. God.
Sure, that's what you were doing with your right hand.
And I somehow developed tennis elbow.
Jesus, man. Oh, that is a nightmare.
I was got lots of things to look forward to.
God. When you said you were at the doctor, though, I'll admit I was worried that you had 75 heart attacks again. So
I don't know why my camera looks like that.
Yeah, it's really weird. It is really strange. All right, Casey is with us.
Who knows?
Picks are brought to you this week by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. if you are a man of a certain age, and we know KZ is, he is a certain age. He actually might be a certain age plus a few. Then you know that you're dealing with things that you've never dealt with before. You know what I mean? Like you go use a leaf blower, and then your body doesn't work for a month. But you might be dealing with things that I was dealing with just feeling sluggish, feeling run down, not feeling like yourself. And they can help you at Game Day Men's Health. You might be low T. They'll give you a complimentary testosterone test. They will let you know if you're low T. And if you're not, and I wasn't, they still have ways to help you. For me, it was peptide proteins. They've been game-changing. But for you, there might be other things going on. You might be dealing with performance issues in the bedroom, stubborn belly fat that just won't come off. They've got a plan for you at Game Day Men's Health, and it is a safe space. These are things we don't like talking about because we don't like acknowledging that we are not exactly what we want to be as men, but they'll talk to you about it, and they'll get you on the right track. 443-264-4454 in Owings Mills, 443-266-3505 in Columbia, 240-931-3717 in Frederick. It was a big week for your boy last week with a 7-2 week to get back up to the top half of the table. James Revere still in first place by 2 games over Griffin, 3 games in front of Jeremy, Andrew, and myself, 4 in front of Ryan and John in Little Rock. And our power bottom remains Mr. Ken Zalis and his gimpy arm. 38-49 on the season, 2 games clear of John Proctor, 3 games clear of Joe Serpico and Paul Valley. That's despite the fact that he had a pretty good week. He went 5-4 last week. All of a sudden, our league has turned. All of a sudden,
everybody knows what they're doing now.
Over half the league is over 500, which is it used to be that if you were 500, you had a great chance of winning the league. That used to be the case. Now our leader is damn near 10 games over 500. So here we go. 3 college games, 6 NFL games. As always, Griffin, where are we starting this week?
Aronde Gadsden or Kamani Vidal? Ken?
You got to go Vidal. I mean, we all love Gadsden, but, Vidal's going to get 20 touches.
Okay. Rutgers or Maryland?
Stop. We're not picking that game.
Why are we picking that one?
Because who cares?
Well, I do. I need one more win from Maryland.
Yeah, because there's a more relevant local game to pick this week.
Why did Loyola start at 11:30 today for college?
Because it's field trip day, dog.
Oh, okay. I was just asking. I figured you knew.
Trying to get the kids.
I figured you would know. You're Mr. Loyola.
Trying to get the kids to come out.
We will go to South Bend first on Saturday night. Navy coming off their first loss of the season, take on the number 10 ranked team in the country according to the College Football Playoff Committee, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This one's on NBC, and the Fighting Irish are laying 26.5 points.
Which admittedly I think is too big of a number, so I'm taking Notre Dame.
I said after last 2 weeks ago when Navy didn't cover, the question wasn't whether they were going to lose a game, it's how many are they going to lose in a row now. Looking at their schedule, I predict 5. But
yeah, I don't think they're going to do that.
Jeez, they're not Maryland.
Losing the next 3.
I don't even know that.
You could be right.
I don't know. I get it. Like, they turned the ball over a couple times. It's not. The score looks like they got their ass kicked by North Texas, but it was really they just turned the ball over. So if they do that, then you're right. They're gonna lose lots of games,
including this one, and really badly. I'll take Notre Dame as well.
They might lose this game, sure, maybe.
We
don't know, honestly.
Maybe.
I thought this line, for some reason in my head, coming into the week before I looked it up last night, I thought this line was going to be 10 or something.
What?
Because I think Navy's really good.
If they haven't played anybody, there's a cupcake schedule.
And then I was planning on picking Notre Dame. 26 is way too many. I'm taking Navy.
Good
here.
for you.
And let's go shock the world.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
A couple more terrorists in this grouping, along with you two: Jeremy Kahn, James Revere, and John Proctor, all going against the United States military. So 7-5 split in favor of the mids. Then we're going to college.
I can't believe there's that many people that are on Navy. God
26
bless.
is so many.
It's a
26
big
and a half.
number.
Look, if you want me to make the argument is we have no idea if Notre Dame's good or not. Like they haven't won a game that mattered this season, and they're going to waltz into the playoffs despite the fact that they're not going to beat anybody that's good.
I guess that's
because
the argument,
that's
that
the
every game has mattered for them. 'Cause as soon as they lose, they're dead.
yeah, and this is the reason why the playoff got expanded, is to make sure that Notre Dame could get in. Now, in fairness, they did win some relevant games last year and made a run and got farther than I expected them to. But Notre Dame is going to get in on the strength of having beat USC. That's going to be their best win all season, and they're going to get into the college football playoff because of it.
It's more fun when they're in, though.
Why? Because you have somebody to root against?
Well, Jeremiah loves
Well,
really good.
then it's always like cheerful when they get destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is
it's like great.
It's not quite. Like I always say that the happiest day of my year is when Duke gets eliminated from the NCAA tournament. But part of that is because there's a chance they're going to win. Like Notre Dame's not going to win the national championship, so it's not quite the same. But I do get it.
National championship might be a rematch with Texas A&M. You never know.
Sure.
We're going to Lubbock, where the site of College Game Day for a noon kickoff. I guess this would be 11 a.m. local time. Texas Tech hosting number 8 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders, hosting the number 7 ranked BYU Cougars, and Texas Tech at home laying 10 points.
Admittedly, once again, I know basically nothing about these two top 10 teams, but last week we were in the same spot in the Big 12 game, and I took the home team that was favored by 10 points. So you know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to take the home team that's favored by 10 points. Give me the Raiders.
Yeah, I did not do that last week. I probably oversold the Bearcats.
A little bit, it appears.
A little bit, because they were never in the game.
No.
I think BYU's played a soft schedule so far. I'm going to take the home team as well. I'm going to take Texas Tech.
Yeah, I made the same mistake last week also, thinking Cincinnati was a football team, and apparently they're not. But, yeah, BYU's got the freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, and I do think they've gone into some
yeah, I mean, they had to beat
places.
the Utah team that just hammered Cincinnati last week.
But every game
that wasn't a road game.
No.
Yeah, it was a home game.
Where did they go? I forget. I know they went to Colorado,
Oh, okay, right. But
tough barn.
No, it's not.
Altitude.
Sure.
But every game for them has been really close. Meanwhile, for Texas Tech, they're blowing everyone out in the Big 12. They went into Utah and won by 24. Their only loss was to Arizona State because their quarterback Morton was hurt. So I think Texas Tech covers the big number here. I will lay it with the Red Raiders as well. We are nearly split, 7-5 split here in favor of Texas Tech. On BYU, Andrew Stetka, James Revere, Joe Serpico, Kyle Ottenheimer, and Ryan Shell taking the Mormons. Now to Mizzou. Missouri, number 22, still ranked. Missouri Tigers are hosting the number 3 ranked undefeated Texas A&M Aggies. This one's at 3:30 following that BYU Tech game on ABC. And on the road, A&M, I think the line's up to 7 now, but we got it at 6.5, laying 6.5 Aggies.
Missouri's losses have been close, and they are coming off their bye, which I also think is relevant. I'll probably regret it, but I'll buy the 6.5. I'll take the 6.5 here. I think Texas A&M wins, but I'm going to take Missouri.
I'm not taking Missouri. I haven't taken them all year.
Yeah, I get it.
I just don't buy into their team. They don't score enough for me, and that's the bottom line. And in a game that
because Stone Cold said so.
Just like 2 weeks ago, I didn't think they would score enough against Vandy, and they wind up with 7, 10?
10.
11? Yeah. Give me A&M.
Bo Perula got hurt, I guess, for Mizzou in that game, so there is that.
Yeah, did you think about that, huh? Zalis, did you think about that? Obviously, I knew that. Obviously, that factored into my decision.
Yeah.
He's hurt again this week.
Oh.
They're going with the freshman. They're going with the freshman Zollers.
Shit.
But Eli Drinkwitz 10-3 as a home underdog at home.
Right, but with backup quarterbacks?
Not always.
Why the hell is this line only 6.5?
I've been very impressed by A&M. I think Marcel Reed has a good chance to win the Heisman here, and he'll add yet another Heisman moment. They've gone on the road 3 weeks in a row, Texas A&M. I like them to keep it rolling, though. I will take the Aggies here. You're not alone on Mizzou. Jeremy Collins with you, as is Kyle Ottenheimer.
That means the people are not with me.
They're not. Just the three of you on the Tigers.
Well, all right.
Now to the NFL.
I don't have Ken. I've got that going for me, which is nice.
We're moving to the NFL, but these are not two NFL teams playing.
Oh, I'm so glad we're picking this game.
The Browns
this makes me happy.
at the Jets.
This is the game of the year, dog. Like this, I'm so sad this game isn't the London game. Or where is it this week? The Berlin game?
Yeah.
Like, this should absolutely be the game that we give the Germans. Like, yeah. You think we forgot? You think we forgot? Enjoy Browns Jets. We'll never forget.
I mean, if for that reason, I would be in favor of that spite them with the worst two teams in the.
I love this game. I love everything about this game.
I don't.
Oh, this is terrible. Like, imagine paying. Someone has paid a premium price for this game. Maybe not right now. Maybe not today, but before the season, someone paid an outrageous amount of money related to this football game. They're bringing clients. They were on a trip. Whatever it is, someone has paid an ungodly amount of American dollars to be at the Cleveland Browns New York Jets game.
Get in is still $40 to get into MetLife.
Which means with fees, it's...
No, this is with fees.
Oh, with fees?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, parking.
But if you want to park and you want... Yeah, 100%. Like, still. And we know now how terrible it is. But if you still want to go, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars.
However, you can sit right behind the tunnel for $75.
I'll probably choose not to. Ultimately, the Browns do have a defense. The Jets have a nothing. So I do agree the Browns is the pick here.
It's exactly what it came down to for me.
Browns are laying 2.5. I don't know if I said that.
The Jets trade away their best defensive players. The Browns did not. I'll take the Browns.
Now, how amazing is it the Jets only had like 3 football players. They got rid of 2 of them, and they're still only 2.5 point dogs.
I know it's crazy.
I'm pretty pissed that we're picking this game because I'm not gonna give 2 seconds to this game on Sunday. The Ravens are playing at the same time, and then you got a great 4 o'clock window. I think the Patriots and Bucks are also playing at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, if only there were other good games to pick. There are not.
There are. We could pick the 9 a.m. game because
it's not
we're
a good
going to be
game.
watching that.
That's true. We are going to be watching it. You're right.
Jets.
Okay, that's a bold decision.
I mean, I think I'm going with the motivation angle. Guys, angry that they're like,
right.
You think we're not good enough? Or other teams?
Or they're angry that they didn't get traded away.
Yeah,
they're angry that they're still there. They're pissed off.
Hey, we are football players. I'll take the Jets. I'm in the minority here. Joe Serpico's on the Jets, as is Paul Valley and Ryan Shell.
All right.
JETS, go.
Truly.
Patriots at the Bucks. This one is also at 1 o'clock on CBS.
By the way, I would be in favor if these are the 2 teams that finish with the worst records that we give whoever wins this game the number 1 pick. I would be in favor of that. Go ahead.
Tampa laying 2.5, hosting New England.
Really? Who's healthy for Tampa at this point?
Baker.
But like receiver-wise.
Mecca Buka's back.
Right. That's it?
Kate Otten.
Okay.
Rashad White.
Okay. Yeah, no Bucky Irving.
Sean Tucker, our guy.
I'm gonna have to roll with the Patriots here. They're getting points. They're rolling. I know Tampa's coming off their bye, but they're healthier. I'm gonna have to roll with the Patriots.
I wrote down New England 3 times, and I'm like, I suck at this. So give me Tampa.
Okay. You are bad at picking games, so this might be a good strategy for you.
Darn it.
They're at home. They're at home. It's
I get it. I get it.
Now I don't feel quite as good about my pick. Tampa's won a lot of. I feel like they've won all close games. Every single one of their games, all their wins feel close. When they get in a close game, they just find a way to win.
Right, but if they win by 1 or 2
Baker.
points, that means they lose.
Yeah, but if they win by 3 points,
That's true. You are right about that.
that means they win. Baker is a winner. I will take Baker and the Bucks. Unfortunately, alongside KZ. We are pretty split here. Yeah, 6-6 split here. Joining KZ and I on Tampa, Andrew Stetka, Joe Serpico, John in Little Rock, and Ryan Shell on, Paul Valley on the Bucks.
All right.
Yes. The 4 o'clock window, we're going out west because apparently we're a big NFC West show. We're picking both of the NFC West games. Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks, coming off a big win for Jacoby Brissett, and they're still getting 6.5 going into Seattle.
Man, 6.5. Yeah, I still can't. I mean, I want to say 6.5 is a lot. And I'm still not fully sold on the Seahawks, truly. I am still – I get it. The defense is good. I still ultimately think they can't run the ball well enough. Teams are going to start keying in on the play action because they're not running the ball, and that's going to be hurtful for Sam Darnold, who I think is good, but I don't think is next level. Still, I don't think the Cardinals are the team to take advantage of it. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah. I will take the Seahawks as well. I like their defense. I'm not going to be a believer in Brissett 2 weeks in a row. Nice story and all that, but reminds me of Huntley a little bit. Did it once. I don't believe in you again, so I'm going to take Seattle.
If this was a road game, definitely lock in the Seahawks easily because that's all Mike McDonald does is win road games with the Seahawks. I'll probably still lock in Seattle here. They've won 8 in a row against the Cardinals. They'll go ahead and keep it going against a backup quarterback who, although, again, the Cowboys defense is up there with the Bengals for worst in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I will go with Seattle here. On the Arizona, though, Jeremy Kahn, Kyle Ottenheimer, and Ryan Shell also fading the public.
All right. I mean, it's 6.5 points. I do get that part.
LA Rams, that is, going into Santa Clara, taking on the 49ers, and they are laying 4.5. Another
Man, would
road
anybody
favorite.
be stunned if the 49ers won this game?
I would.
Why?
I would be too. I remember I was calling them seller.
Because I believed in them for so long, and now I
But they figure out ways to win games. Like they're a weird team that I'm not saying he's good, but they just figure out
we're
ways.
actually playing a real football team who's smart enough to just take CMC out of the game, if you can.
Give me the 49ers.
I don't like how much I'm agreeing with Ken.
Yeah, this is problematic for you, dog. Give me the 49ers here.
I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams too. I don't feel good about it now. Yeah. I mean, like to Glenn's point though, no one's respecting San Francisco for some reason.
Well,
I'm not.
because they're injured, because they have none of their play. I understand why nobody is respecting them. I just know that somehow, despite all of their injuries, they keep figuring out ways to play football.
They've been alternating wins and losses since week 3.
But I don't need them to win.
6-3. I'm taking the Rams here. Niners alongside Glenn, Jeremy Kahn, Joe Serpico, Paul Valley, and Ryan Shell, also on San Francisco. I feel like you've done a good job of, I think, going anti-Ken every time. You guys were both on Notre Dame.
We were.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah. Pittsburgh at the other Los Angeles. The Chargers are hosting the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, and LAC laying 3.
I took the Steelers last week. I took the Steelers last 2 weeks, split on those 2 games. I do not think they're going to force 6 turnovers every game. I do not think they're going to have 5 sacks in every game. I think their defense is better than it's been, but I don't think it's quite as good as it looked a week ago. Look, and it doesn't have the mystique of Mike Tomlin at home as a dog. So, Chargers.
This will feel like a home game.
Chargers.
Steelers,
it probably will. That part you're right about.
Anyway, that is correct.
Still, Chargers.
Will feel like a home game. I'm taking the Chargers as well.
Damn it!
I just don't believe in the Steelers. They played great last week, but I agree with Glenn. It's like you need 5 or 6. It seems like to beat a good team, you need 5 turnovers every time from the Steelers. They did it with New England and things like that. I just don't think they're going to get that.
I think I had a perfect read. I felt like I had a perfect read on the Steelers last year. I felt like I got most of their games right. This year, it feels like I haven't gotten a single Steelers game right. So I'm going to hope that continues because I'm picking the Steelers here.
All right.
To go on the road and take down the Chargers. Looks like we're pretty split here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6-6. You two on the Chargers. Jeremy Kahn is on the Chargers. James Revere, Joe Serpico, and John Proctor, as is Kyle Ottenheimer. So actually 7 on the Chargers. Now to Minnesota, the Vikings hosting the Baltimore Ravens, 1 o'clock on Fox. Ravens on the road, and they will be 4.5-point favorites.
The Ravens haven't beaten the Vikings by more than 4.5 points since 2005. The last time these teams played in 2021, it was an overtime win for the Ravens. The last time the Ravens faced Brian Flores as defensive coordinator was that ugly Thursday night game in Miami a couple years ago. There's a part of me that really wants to take the Vikings here and say I think this is going to be a close game. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the Ravens, and I think the defense is competent enough that this J.J. McCarthy's – look, I am worried about – it's weird. I'm more worried about the Ravens' offense in this game than I am – that's going to sound insane. And it's in context, right? Like, what I'm not saying is I think the Ravens' offense is going to get shut out, and I think the defense is going to be brilliant. It's just that I don't have a lot of concerns about the Vikings' offense against this defense, short of just throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson on every play, but they don't do that. Like, they've never done that, which is strange to me. Why wouldn't you? I do have some concerns that this isn't going to be a 40 spot that the Ravens are putting up offensively, that this is going to be more along the lines of like a 24-17 type of a game. But I'm still going to take the Ravens to cover the 4.5.
So I'm gonna continue on my trend and happily be wrong every time. And I'm gonna take the Vikings. This game scares the bejesus out of me on a reality level.
Mm-hmm.
The Flores thing, the what I saw them do defensively against Detroit, which is blitz, and play a lot of zero cover, which in the past.
To be fair, Lamar Jackson has the highest quarterback rating against the blitz in the NFL this season.
I was just about to say that this isn't the same Lamar Jackson that faced the Flores defense the last time. Greatly improved against the blitz. Maybe even to their favor where it becomes, a blowout type situation if the Ravens offense is clicking. But it still scares me. I kudos to the Ravens for making some moves. Don't think they made enough to shore up the defense in the trade deadline. I think the Vikings keep it close enough for me to take the Vikings.
All right.
When Lamar faces in a new head coach, so like an opposing head coach for the first time, he's 37-8 straight up. However, he's just 24-21 against the spread. But he is 16-2 straight up against a new facing an NFC coach for the first time. I do think the Vikings are a pretty decent team. I think there's an argument that Kevin O'Connell might be the best coach. He's definitely one of the best coaches in the NFL. Fortunately, though, he does not have Lamar Jackson, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Ravens here and take Lamar to win this one by at least a touchdown here. So I'll take the Ravens. Joining KZ though on the Vikings, John in Little Rock as always doing the fading Minnesota thing, and Jeremy Kahn also on the
Something
Vikings.
going on with your mic.
I
by
hear
the
it as
way.
well.
We gotta look at that during the break. It's okay. Not right now. Not right now. It's all right. So that's good. That's our last pick.
It is our last pick.
Ken Zalis, we will see you on Sunday, correct?
Maybe.
What?
I got a thing.
What do you mean you have a thing?
Well, if my boys soccer team wins the semifinal they're hosting today, they will be in the championship at Loyola on Sunday.
Okay.
And that game starts at 1:00. So if I can catch enough of the second half, I will join. But if I can't, then there's not.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a way. I found out that Tyus is actually in town this weekend and was like, "What if we did the show together?" And I was like, "Well, Rita's out of town. Rita's going to the game. Makes it tough." So I don't know. We'll figure out.
We should do that at some point.
We
need to pick a night. We need to pick a what? Don't they have a Sunday besides Thanksgiving? Don't they have a late game?
I think you're right. I do think that's correct.
We should try that somewhere at an establishment.
Like a 4:00 game?
Yeah, like either a 4:00 game or a Sunday night game.
I mean, everything could be flexed at this point, but the Browns the next week they're 4:25 at Cleveland.
Why is that a 4:25 game?
It does have the asterisk, so they maybe they'll change.
Because Cleveland's always going to be good preseason.
Project Game Day this Sunday. Myself, hopefully KZ.
Hopefully.
Rita from out in Minnesota at the game.
Or hopefully not. Go KZ's soccer boys.
Yeah, Stecca. Griffin, I guess, and Tyus Bowser will be hanging out with you. PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay. All brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costas Inn Live Casino and Hotel. KZ, love you, buddy. We'll talk to you again next Thursday. Thank you, sir.
Take care, guys.
It's Ken Zalis with us for picks this week. I did not mention Leody Taveras when we were talking about the Orioles earlier. Shame on me. Shame on me. Major acquisition. Major pickup. Leody Taveras. The Orioles agreed to a 1-year, $2 million deal. Massive acquisition. I have nothing to say about it. Literally nothing to possibly say about it. He was decent a few years ago.
Pinch runner now?
I
guess he's got a glove. Yeah.
I don't even know how valuable his glove is. But I was trying to think of when he was good, and I just looked it up again. It was 2023 when he had his good season in
it was a big part of the
Texas.
The Rangers,
Yeah, a big part. Let's maybe ease up on all that.
I mean, I think he was in the starting lineup.
He was, but he hit he had a .312 on base percentage and a .733 OPS. He was good.
Better than you.
That's true. You're right. We all roll our eyes whenever we see something like this. I would like for the Orioles to be in a place where if they make a move like this, they can just walk away from it and say, we might have better options. You fear that they're thinking about short-term options is Colton Cowser really the center fielder? Are they trying to pass the time for Enrique Bradfield to be the center fielder? Leody Taveras does nothing for me. Nothing. But he's an Oriole now, and hopefully he's a helpful one. So there's that. Come back in. We'll get a tidbit. We'll get tubular. We will wind things down for a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Don Marcus profiles new Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith, breaking down the challenge he faces in his new role and the unique background he brings to the job. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg takes an in-depth look at Orioles outfielder Dylan Beavers. And we meet college basketball players from all the programs around the state before the season gets underway. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region. And starting this month, you can find us at Baltimore area High's Dairy Store locations. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue to wind down on a Thursday edition of the program. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. Stan, Ross, and Luke had their last baseball show of the season this past Monday. You can find it at Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan shows brought to you by the Costa Sin and the all-new Costa Sin, now open at the Grandstand in Timonium.
Since 1970, yeah, this does not sound great. Since 1970, with at least my microphone's not working. No, my microphone's not working.
Yeah, okay. Well then, we'll see what's going on with that. Try to get that cord fixed. Why don't you just pull this microphone over and we'll deal with it after the show? Why don't we just, we can wrap up and play with it and figure out what's happening there, and life will go on. These things happen. They occur. We just try to fix them as quickly as possible and not leave someone sitting here repeating the same things over and over again.
You're doing a great job. Since 1970, quarterbacks with at least 1,200 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 2 or fewer interceptions in their first 4 games with the team. One quarterback has done it this season. First 4 games.
Give the numbers one more time.
1,200 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 or fewer interceptions in their first 4 games with a team.
Joe
Flacco in 2025. Yeah. And he joins...
How many are there?
Only one other.
Only one other?
And he did this in 2021 with a new team.
2021 with a new team. Who was on a new team in 2021? 2021 wasn't Stafford's first year in L.A., was it?
It was his first year in L.A.
Matt Stafford?
Matt Stafford and Joe Flacco.
There you go.
Only 2.
Couple of Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Those two guys.
Yes.
Those two guys. Is that it?
Yeah, that can be
okay, very good. Let's get Tubular. Tubular is brought to you by the print issue of PressBox, which is available at the Baltimore area High's Dairy stores for free. Also, lots of other locations. You can go to PressBoxOnline.com/find. If you don't know where to get yours, you can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. The new print issue of PressBox now available. Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise. Of course, Thursday Night Football. As Week 10 gets underway, it's not great, but, it's a game. Raiders, Broncos, tonight, 8:15, Amazon Prime Video.
I feel nervous having 2 players going in this game, Bowers and Sutton. I'm worried.
Why?
Because the Raiders suck, and I feel like it's just gonna be an ugly,
they give the ball to Brock Bowers.
I feel like it's just gonna be an ugly the Broncos are just
Broncos
let's
defense
just
is very good. I get you, but they give the ball to Brock
17-10
Bowers a
or
lot.
something.
Maryland women host UMBC tonight at 6, Big Ten Network Plus. Loyola taking on Penn State Abingdon right now on ESPN Plus. Morgan State hosts Central Penn at 6 as well. Everything else you can find at GlennClarkRadio.com. Capitals Penguins 7:30 on ESPN Plus and Hulu. Non-sports?
I got a few things. On Netflix, a new show called Death by Lightning, where Michael Shannon plays President James Garfield, and Matthew McFadden's in it as well. And there's someone trying to come in to kill the president, and so he's gonna.
I've been waiting for the James Garfield movie.
You have been?
I've been saying that for a long time. It's beyond time for that.
It looks interesting. All Her Fault on Peacock it's a missing child thriller based on a novel. It actually looks pretty good. Dakota Fanning, Sarah Snook, Michael Pena's in this. It looks pretty. Looks like it's got some potential. That's on Peacock, and the big one, of course, on HBO. I know you're excited. A-Rod versus Alex.
Can't wait.
Or sorry, it's Alex versus A-Rod.
Sure, gonna get right on that.
So he can tell his story.
Sure.
And he had to deal with some personal struggles.
Oh yeah, lots of that.
And
that it? We good?
Stuff. Yeah.
By the way, what happened to us showing clips and everything like that.
I can find the trailer for Alex.
Nope,
Today, right?
I'm good. But we just, in general, we're supposed to be doing this a little bit more frequently, and then we just like everything else.
Well, because you don't like all the things I show you, so
There is that. I don't like
it's
anything.
why
But then
waste
you have the
time?
opportunity to try to convince me otherwise. You do get that
Yeah,
chance.
but you just are
almost
so,
always. I'm
you are
going to
just
say
so
no.
Close-minded that I
That's
can't.
Close-minded. Thanks today to Patrick Stevens and Ken Zalis. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the
Sydney Sweeney and Guillermo del Toro will
tab
be
at
Stephen Colbert.
GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow on the program, Stan will be here. Ty Felton, former Terps wide receiver, is going to join us now with the Minnesota Vikings. We'll talk about Sunday's game, his rookie season in the NFL. We'll continue our celebration of 30 seasons of Ravens football with members of the inaugural Ravens team. The great Benny Thompson will join us tomorrow. And stuff and things. Thanks to everybody at PressBox. All of our great sponsors and partners, including the Costas Inn, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, High's Dairy Stores, Game Day Men's Health, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, BuyAToyota.com, Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, Nick's Fish House, and more. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. I'm on WBAL this evening from 7 to 11 p.m. I am to understand that Mike Elias will be joining us at the top of the program.
Really?
Not sure if you've heard of him, but we'll be.
He's going to talk to you?
Apparently.
About what?
I don't know.
Does he know that you're a Yankees fan?
You know me. You know me. Chatting with Mike Elias at the top of the program. Have a great Thursday evening. Go Morgan. Go Maryland or UMBC women. No, we don't do that. Nobody cares about your fantasy team. Nope. Duke sucks.